I started with $1,000, a lot of opinions, and a bad habit of thinking a good sports conversation was the same thing as a good betting decision. The number you see in the title, $834,235, did not come from one lucky ticket or a secret person feeding me picks. It came from treating every slate like a research problem, then using AI to do the part no human can do consistently at scale, absorb context, compare possibilities, and remember where the process was wrong. At the beginning, $1,000 feels small enough that people start hunting for a shortcut. You see a big payout, stack a few names together, and convince yourself that one huge night will change everything. That mindset did not get me anywhere. The shift happened when I stopped asking, what can I turn this into tonight, and started asking, what does the information actually say before I risk another dollar? That question changed the entire workflow. Instead of starting with a bet slip, I started with the board. I looked at the game environment, the role a player was likely to have, the matchup, the injury report, the line movement, recent usage, and whether the price had already absorbed the obvious story. The point was not to fund more bets. The point was to identify the few situations where the number on the screen did not seem to fully match the context behind it. That is where the compounding began. A strong read is useful. A system that can repeat strong reads across hundreds of decisions is something else entirely. AI gave me that system. It let me organize far more information than I could carry in my head, but just as importantly, it made the review more consistent. When you are doing everything from memory, every hot streak feels like a genius breakthrough and every loss feels like bad luck. When you track the work, patterns stop hiding. About a minute into a slate, there is usually more information flying around than one person can evaluate well. Beat reporters post an update. A player gets upgraded. A projected starter changes. The line moves before the consensus catches up. That is why I built my process around ProfessorParlay. It gives the research a real command center, live context, current stats, injury and news factors, matchup data, and multiple AI perspectives looking at the same decision from different angles. Sometimes I want one model to give me its cleanest read. Other times, I want a full panel, because agreement between 5 models after they have seen the live context is different from a single quick answer based on stale information. Parlay also reflects on losses, which is one of the most important parts of the whole system. A loss is not just a red mark on a record. It is evidence. Was the game script wrong? Was the roll wrong? Did the line move against the original premise? Did I overvalue a trend that was already priced in? The tool gets sharper because the process has a memory. You can see it at parlay.cc. The first thing AI helped me remove was the emotional gap between getting an idea and placing a bet. I used to find one stat, feel the rush of a narrative forming, and move toward the action before I had tested the rest of the case. AI slowed that moment down without slowing the workflow. It forced the idea through a more complete filter. What supports it? What contradicts it? What has changed today? And what would have to be true for the number to be wrong? That last question matters. The goal is never to predict every game perfectly. The goal is to be specific about the condition you are actually backing. If a player prop depends on more minutes, then I need a reason those minutes are real. If an over depends on pace, then I need to know whether the matchup, the rotations, and the current game environment actually support that pace. If a favorite looks obvious, then I need to ask why the price has not already made it expensive. AI is powerful because it can run those checks repeatedly, with the same level of attention, even when the slate is noisy. The second thing that changed was the way I handled price. Early on, I would obsess over whether I liked a player or team. Later, I learned that liking the outcome is only half of a betting decision. You can be right about the story and still take a number that gives away too much. The difference between a good read and a good entry is often sitting right there in the payout structure, the line movement, or the price you accepted because you did not want to miss out. That is why every pick went into a log. Not just win or loss. I recorded the original reasoning, the information available at the time, the price, the final result, and what changed after the entry was placed. At first, it was humbling. Some bets that felt incredibly sharp were just familiar narratives with prettier wording. Some losses were actually good decisions that did not work out. Others exposed the same mistake coming back in a different jersey, overreacting to one game, trusting a player name too much, or adding a leg because the payout looked better. This is the part people skip when they talk about AI sports betting. The flashy part is getting a model to analyze a game. The edge is building a feedback loop where the model, the data, and your own decision-making keep testing each other. Every time a result came in, I wanted the next board to be a little smarter because of it. That is what makes the information compound. The bankroll is just the scoreboard. There were plenty of stretches where the answer was to do less. A busy slate can create the illusion that there are 20 opportunities, when there may only be 2 situations worth a real conversation. AI made it easier to pass without feeling like I was sitting out the action, because I had a clear reason for the pass. The board was not strong enough, the price had moved, the player role was uncertain, or the models were split for a reason I could not explain away. Those passes matter more than they look. When you are trying to grow a bankroll, the biggest enemy is not a single loss. It is the habit of forcing mediocre decisions to satisfy the need to be involved. The $1,000 survived long enough to grow because I treated it like ammunition, not entertainment. I sized entries so one bad read could not erase a month of solid work, and I let the confidence come from the research instead of the payout display. Once the workflow was consistent, the results stopped feeling random. I had a way to find the board, pressure test the idea, compare the price, decide whether it deserved an entry, and see the result afterward. The bigger numbers were a consequence of doing those smaller things over and over with discipline. AI did not just give me more opinions. It gave me a way to process the right information at the right time and keep the lessons that mattered. So when people ask how I went from $1,000 to $834,235 using AI sports betting, the short answer is that I stopped betting like every slate needed a hero. I built a research loop that could see more, remember more, and challenge my first instinct before money was on the line. The real advantage was never one pick. It was having a process that became more informed every time it ran. That is the work behind the number. Build the board before you build the bet. Let the data argue with the narrative. Use AI to turn live information into a better decision, then make sure every result teaches the next decision something useful. That is how a small bankroll becomes a system, and a system is what gives the big